It's Cole Connor. I am back with the newly rebranded Cole Connor podcast, and now it is the No Niche podcast. I asked y'all on Instagram, on Facebook, what y'all thought. I talked about it with Knocklin. I thought about it a lot, and I was like, the Cole Connor podcast is cool, but I wanted something a little more that we could brand a little more outside of just myself. So it's the No Niche podcast. I feel like that fits a lot already with my brand. 6 months ago, Los Angeles almost made me give up. That was after taking like a 3-month break from YouTube. I was focusing on the course, and I was just busting it up here in Los Angeles. And yeah, that shit was tough. But yeah, I was really transparent there. I wanted to talk about where I was going, and I did that. I've done a lot of what I set out to do. I think when I look at my channel of the past 6 months, I've done a lot of shit. I've done reactions. I've done a lot of videos that have gotten a lot of views when it comes to the creative survival guide and teaching people things about entrepreneurship. And I've done a lot of like life shit, just thinking about where I'm at and what I'm doing. So it's been pretty cool to see where the channel has gone. But one thing I've really been missing is talking to people, and ultimately that's why I wanted to start this thing back. I want to start talking to people again. I want to start talking more about like culture and politics and shit that's happening. I don't know if it's because I'm getting older, or I'm just more interested now, or I'm just tired of the bullshit of like, I guess, always trying to make it or always caring about yourself. I'm really interested in like where the world's going and how I can be a part of helping it, or just learning as much as I can while I'm here. Because, you never know how many days you got. Yeah, I think it's important to talk to people. I think it's important to expand your mind. And now that I feel like I'm settled again, I feel we just rented this apartment for another year. Because it's been a full year since I've been here, coming up here in a couple weeks, September 1st. We actually, I think, came out here at the beginning of August, so it was about the same time. So technically been here 1 year. And that's also really what I wanted to talk about today, was reflecting on this year in Los Angeles. There's going to be a lot of trial and error with this podcast, and I know that it seems like everyone has a podcast, and I know I've had a podcast, but I feel like I haven't really been chasing it. It's just kind of whenever it happened, but I would really like to take it up a notch. So I'm going to be testing out different things, and one of the things I want to test out is kind of like segments, how the show should go, and just see what works. The guests that I want to have on are all different types of people. I don't want to just limit it. And yeah, you may not be interested in every one, but you may come across one where you're like, oh shit, that one is interesting. So that's where I'm at with it. The first segment I would really like to be, how are you feeling? Knocklin listens to this podcast called Feeling Asian. Shout out to them. And one thing I just love about it is they always ask how they're feeling in the beginning. I want to talk about how I'm feeling. And hopefully when we have guests on, we'll be able to ask them how they're feeling. I think a lot of people just they not always ask that question. People, ask, how are you? How have things been? But I feel like there's something different about like, how are you feeling like on the inside? That's important that we're asked. How am I feeling? To be transparent, I've been, in general, over the past several weeks, I've been feeling like less stressed than I have been in the past. Let's break it down into 3 categories, and I'm not going to do this every time, obviously, because no one gives a fuck how I'm feeling that much. But I think it's interesting to break down your feelings into. I might have seen, maybe it was Logan Paul do this, but you break your feelings down into your personal, business, and creative. I thought that was really interesting. I saw him post something like that. Personally, current situation is I've been home alone for a week as Knocklin visited her family, and her grandma passed away. And yeah, she went home and visited, and I was holding the fort down while she did that. with the cats in the house. And yeah, so it was, for me, a pretty lonely week, I would say, overall. It's interesting that you get a lot of stuff done when you're alone, but also you really want like social interaction deep down. Even me as like an introvert, I could stay inside all day, but I think deep down, I want like several hours a day of social interaction with my loved one, or my mom or my sister or my dad or whatever. But outside of that, my girlfriend Nachlan and I, we are fantastic. It's so wild how easy our relationship is. I think it's how it should be. And yeah, we're just almost 2 years and we're way stronger every day, and it's pretty fucking cool. But that's really a conversation for another day. Yeah, creative survival guide stuff and Bo Los Angeles. So I really was hoping that my real estate photography would take off a little sooner. When I got here, I thought that it might move faster than it did. And it just, well, at first I was like convinced the creative survival guide would be able to pay my bills and grow. It did not work out like that, as I've talked about before. And I started Bo Los Angeles a couple months into moving here because I was like, yo, this shit's not working how I thought. And I just started way too late, man. I started way too late. So now I feel like I'm several months behind. The good thing that I've started doing business-wise is that I work for several real estate photography companies. And that just helps me pay the bills, where I don't have to like do a bunch of side hustles like Uber and Rover. That shit gets tiring. Very tiring. I feel exhausted after talking for 17 minutes. I mean, I recognize not everyone will be interested in this, but some people might just want to put it on while they're, chilling. Might say something that they find helpful. Creatively, I think this is what I was talking about a few minutes ago. I feel very like, I don't know, I've always been a person that's like hustle since I was like 23 years old. And I think it's these acting classes I've been taking, and the fact that I'm starting to become a little more financially stable, and it's just kind of growing slowly, which is totally fine. My YouTube is slowly growing. I'm the saddest probably about music, because I'm trying so hard to fucking get enough songs together to where I feel like I can start releasing music again. But overall, creatively, I just feel like relaxed. I don't feel this, I wouldn't say it's demotivated, but I just don't feel this like extreme need to go really fast. I just want to make the best shit that I can, honestly. And that has been a really long journey to get to that point where I feel okay. So that's how I'm feeling on that front. And if I didn't finish the business thought, mainly what I'm trying to say is that I'm okay. I feel good about it, but yeah, I do wish that my business stuff was moving a little faster, because when you don't have more than enough money, really, it just slows you down so fucking much, man. And that's why this year felt like both the longest year ever and the quickest year ever. I feel like my thoughts all together. It makes me think that maybe I'm just not the type of person that needs to do a solo podcast, and maybe I should only do talking to people. That's what Nachlan always says. She's like, you're a great conversationalist. That's like, she always talks about it. It's one of the things where I feel like she thinks that I'm like the best at. Out of all the things that I do, she's like, you are a great conversationalist. And I think that's true. I've like tried really hard to be a good conversationalist over my life, just whether it's helping me business wise or making connections in music or whatever, building friendships. And I think over the past like 3 or 4 years, just listening to people. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if I keep doing more of these solo ones. I think I just want to practice it. This is like super out of the box, but I know I keep mentioning the comedy thing. I would love to be able to do like a comedy set, even if it was fucking embarrassing. I think I have that in me somewhere. I'm not saying I'm like an amazing comedian, but I'm saying that I think I have some thoughtful stuff. I think I could be. I'm sorry. I don't know. Maybe I couldn't, but I think I could. I feel like everyone kind of thinks they could. Like everyone thinks they're really funny, so it might be one of those situations. I don't fucking know. Okay, I don't fucking know, but I think I could do it. So it'd be cool to practice things like this. It's like practicing improv, and get to the point where I can have like a very interesting but also comedic podcast, even if it's just by myself. Whatever, man. I can feel you judge me. Fuck you. I'm just kidding. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Can we talk about some new plans / new goals? What I've started to do is like on Notion, I have these like 2022 goals that are like quarterly. And I've really liked this because you get to see your progress. And I mean, it's really simple, but I break it down into what I got. Financial goals, YouTube / content goals, gear, creative survival guide, business like Bo Los Angeles, real estate photography. And I don't know, it's pretty cool. It's not super where it's like hundreds and hundreds of goals, but it's like main things that in these next 3 months I would kind of like to do. One thing that's been getting dope as shit is I've lost, as of yesterday, I was 202. I've lost 21 pounds so far this year, which I know it's already been like 8 months, but dude, it's crazy. Not going to show me a picture of myself in December, and you could just really tell such a difference. I've been completely changing the way that I eat, the way I look at probably food in general, and the way that the way I work out, the way I think about like walking. Because I used to be like, if I don't feel like exercising, I'm just not gonna fucking exercise. But you just gotta walk. Just go for a walk. Just stretch. You don't have to do anything crazy, but doing that little thing makes like such a big difference. I'm really excited to be getting lower and lower. Like these pants that I have on, you can't see, but there's these jean shorts. I wore these the first time I came to LA. I remember like one of the first days I went out. And like walked around the city. I just felt good about myself. And this is like today, literally, it was one of the first days that I really was like, damn, I fit in these pants again. I'm just starting to feel good about myself again. I'm 29 going into 30, and I really feel like I think I'm extra motivated because I'm about to be 30 to be, as fit as I can be. I don't see myself, and I don't want to be one of those fucking people that just like slowly goes downhill. I'm just like, even if your body fails you or whatever, I don't want to be like mentally, and I'm gonna keep like trying. I want to be my optimal self at all times, and I feel like I have so much left in me that it's like it's only the beginning in so many ways. So yeah, I'm really excited just to keep fucking losing weight and getting really fit. I've always wanted to have a six-pack, and there's this one picture of me when I was 18 years old where I had this six-pack, and it was like coming off football, I think, or right before football season, and I know I can get back there. I just know it, and I'm working towards that. So I'm really excited about that. But that's one of these things on these like quarterly goals. Really excited about these acting classes. I already talked to y'all about for a second. There's 3 more weeks left in this acting class, but I've already learned so fucking much. It's crazy. And I think main thing, I was going into these acting classes, which they started pretty much the end of July. I was like, I don't really know if I even want to do acting. And now that I've been in LA for a year, I fucking realized that you don't need to be in LA. You really don't. The only reason where I feel like LA is a good move right now is the relationships that I think I am building and will continue to build over the next however many years. But you definitely don't have to be here. Nachla and I have been talking a lot, like whether we want to be here. And I think we have settled on we really do want to be around here for the foreseeable future. But we're hopefully going to make some plans to lay roots other places too, which we'll talk about that another time. But yeah, the acting showed me that I like it. I would love acting. I think it's something that I'm supposed to do. I don't want to prematurely say that. I think acting is in a lot of people, and a lot of people could be good at it. But I think there's something in me that keeps telling myself that this is something I'm really supposed to pursue. I always felt that way about music, and I've always kind of felt like that about like acting was always like a natural route to go, but I never felt strong enough to like pursue it, as in like move somewhere, until I was able to come to LA, and then I had to go back home, and there's just been so many things happening over the past couple of years. But now being here for real, I'm going to really try, and I don't know what that means other than going to finish these acting classes. I'm going to keep taking more. I'm going to keep building these relationships with other actors that I've met because they seem awesome. Connect with them in any way I can. Hopefully start making some short films. I would love that. I think that's like the biggest realization that I've had, is that I want to make the most epic shit that I can. And I want to spend every ounce of energy that I have on making the best shit that I can. Like this, for example, this obviously isn't the best shit that I can, but I think this is important to have conversations and to talk and to think out loud, especially if I'm talking to someone else. It's like the same with YouTube. Like I don't care about spitting out a video 5 million times a day. Fuck that. Like I just don't want to spend my time on it. I want to spend my time on creating videos that I feel like it matter to me in the moment. I want to create videos that inspire other people, that inspire myself, and I don't want to be stuck into a specific niche or a specific box. That's what I realized. Acting is the same thing. I want to be a part of the highest level of creation that I can be, and that is movies, that is film, that is cinematography. So I'm trying to learn, soak up as much as I can, so that one day I could be a director, one day I could be a lead actor in a huge film, a producer, the owner of a production company. These are the directions that I'm going, and I think that I'm really on the right track. Yeah, I've just cared less about numbers and about Instagram reels and TikToks, and I mean, I still think they're fantastic. They're great tools, amazing, and I'm not even gonna lie to you, I am envious of all the people who have been able to make it work for them to where they don't have to do a day job at all, which for me would be kind of like, I guess, real estate photography at this point. But I'm envious. There's a little green-eyed monster in me like, yo, that's so dope for you that you were able to make it work, because I, for whatever reason, couldn't make myself be consistent enough. I can't do it. Not saying that I never will, but I'm just saying that it hasn't happened yet. And in this fucking video world, I really kind of can't believe it hasn't happened yet. I feel like I've tried so hard, but I think it comes down to like consistency and the right thing at the right time. And to be honest, I never really had the right consistency until this year. And I mean, so far this year on YouTube, I've pretty much doubled my subscriber count, which is awesome, but I still have so long to go before much really shakes with that, but it's whatever. Slow and steady wins the race. That's one thing that I was thinking about this week, is how you see so many people who have blown up on YouTube and Instagram or whatever, and they blew up 5 years ago, 2 years ago, 10 years ago, whatever, and now they're like struggling, or they did it because they niched, or maybe they had one viral video, and just like their views go from a ton of views and they just crash, and they have to kind of pick up the pieces and piece it together. I imagine that's like mentally tough to work through. So I guess in a way I am blessed / lucky that I have to work so hard for so long to make this thing pop. So hopefully when it happens, like I'll be ready, mind, body, soul, ready to take it on. We'll see though. I don't know, dude. Life throws curveballs all the fucking time, honestly. I should preface this that when I talk about politics or anything this isn't politics, but anything slightly controversial, I'm just saying it out loud right now. This is a safe space. I've watched for years the woke culture, cancel culture, people voicing their opinions and getting fucking destroyed for it. I think this is crazy, guys. It's okay to think someone is wild or you just don't agree with it, but come on, we should be able to voice opinions and say things that you don't agree with without getting destroyed. Healthy debates, fantastic. But I know me personally, I'm such a middle of the road person that I've been borderline scared to voice my opinion on things. I mean, through the podcast, I have done a couple things that maybe could seem a little bit controversial. I think I had like an abortion debate. I don't know, a couple other things. But yeah, I'm like kind of scared to voice my opinion, even as like a super middle of the road person. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the basis of the story is that she had drugs. Here we go. Okay, Brittany was convicted of deliberately smuggling drugs into Russia and sentenced to 9 years jail time. She says, I never meant to hurt anybody. I never meant to put in jeopardy the Russian population. I never meant to break any laws here. I made an honest mistake, and I hope that in your ruling that it doesn't end my life here. I know everybody keeps talking about political pawn and politics, but I hope that that is far from this courtroom. Craziness. I'm just imagining, let's just say that she's telling the truth and she has a little bit of weed. I don't know how much it was, but I'm just going to say, like, let's just say a handful of weed in her bag. She's going to do whatever she's doing in Russia. I think it was play basketball or something. And she gets caught. Let's just say it was an honest mistake. And now she's in jail for 9 years in Russia. What the fuck? What this, I think, brought to life for a lot of people, and I'm sure Twitter has a lot to say on this, but the fact that people in jail for weed, like, people are freaking out that this happened to her, which I agree, it's terrible. But then you think about all the people who are currently in jail for weed-related crimes. What about those people? Very interesting thing to discuss and very interesting thing to talk about. It makes you think. And I'm a little conflicted on it, because it's like, if you committed a crime while it was illegal and then, you know, it became legal, it is kind of weird to be like, oh, you're let out now because now it's legal. And it's a really fine line, but I'd be interested to know what y'all think about that. I almost think because it is legal now that there should be maybe like a re-talking about of all those cases. I don't know the lingo, but you should bring those things back up, some of these cases in general. And I don't know much about Brittany. I don't know if she's a good person. I don't know if she's wild. I mean, you see, like, Joe Biden calls Brittany Griner's sentence unacceptable. It would be nice if, I feel like, our government would do something, right? Like the idea that something like this could happen and you're stuck in another country, it could just destroy your life, which is what's happening to her, is insane. It makes me pretty sad to think about, honestly. I don't really have any more thoughts on that. Like, it's crazy that it's happening. And I do think that we should, you know, consider, if you're mad about that, then you should also think about all the people who are in jail for weed now. And I'm not saying they should be immediately let out. I'm just making that clear. But I think that maybe we should look at them again. That's a thought. So I said I've been lonely this week. That means I've been watching hella movies. I have a couple recommendations. Just a couple. I checked out the new it's technically called Prey, but it's in like the Predator series, and it's pretty cool. I liked it, honestly. I thought it was awesome. I have seen like mixed reviews online, but Prey, Hulu, check that out. The Gray Man, mixed reviews online too, but who doesn't fucking love Ryan Gosling? I love Ryan Gosling. Chris Evans, and then the gorgeous Ana de Armas. I thought it was a really good action movie. Wasn't the most like deep, make you think, but super solid action movie. And then another recommendation, Rap Shit. Issa Rae, the girl who created and plays on, you probably know who she is, but on Insecure on HBO, she has created a show called Rap Shit. And if you're into hip hop at all, like I am, it was pretty interesting to see. I felt a lot of the sentiment heavy. Revolves around this young rapper who's a lady, and she tries to be super deep and wants to be like actually have meaning in her rap and her shit. But then her and her friends start a rap group, and she kind of sacrifices some of that deepness to just have fun with it. But I think it's something a lot of us artists, especially if we like hate on, and I say we because I always tend to look at myself, especially in the past, as like the deeper type of artist. But there's nothing wrong with just having fun with it, honestly. I think there's a lot to say in that show about that, just like having fun with it and seeing what happens and not having to like be so anti what's successful, I guess. Rap Shit, I think that's HBO Max as well. Oh man, all right, we've been talking long enough. I don't even know if I'm gonna put this out, but maybe I'll take some clips from it. I don't fucking know, man. Maybe just like take some notes and then just talk and see what happens. I'll catch you later. Peace.
Every day I wake up with a vision, cooking in the kitchen, ain't no fucking in the mission, like yo. Shaking up your city with my bitchin', sold in the building, and the motherfucker fizzing like whoa. Cold won't stop till they get that gold.